So there's been something nagging at me in the back of my mind, and then I realized what it was. I hadn't brought you guys in recently for the update, all the rad. So top brackets are done, it's mounted. Give her a little shock of paint. It fits in there not bad. I have room for the, oh, turn. I have room for the little rad hose to get in and out. I have access to the petcock, and then it's going to proceed to dump coolant into the frame rail. So I think I'm going to figure out a way to put a little hose on it or something. Don't know if it matters that much. Lots of cars dump on the frames and stuff anyway. So my plan is to clean up these welds and wire wheel that and get a gander inside to see how rough it looks, and if I got to do a little touch-up welding inside. I won't paint it, I'll just wire wheel everything, clean it up. Reason being is I'm probably going to do some more touch-up painting and stuff next time the engine comes out. I've got to probably put the heater housing in. So I think what I'm going to do is yank the rad, clean up those welds, and maybe see about putting the engine back in with the manifolds on. And I've got to start thinking about power steering. So that's, oh, I got to put the motor mounts in. I want to see how all that fits now that I've trimmed them and welded them and everything else. Get it all back into place. I'll probably pull that hinge off and then flip the hood into place and see how it sits and what clearance I have. And then I'll stick the rad in. Try and eliminate some of the parts because I'm going to kick this out for a while. I got other things that I need to get done. But I think I'll spend today just fiddling, getting the engine back in and stuff like that. So I guess I could paint that stuff over there. And I'm thinking, oh, I gotta straighten out that one piece. She's a little bent in that corner there, so I'm gonna straighten that. I'm going to make a metal patch with probably a rubber seal in case I need to get through the firewall in a couple spots. I'll have a panel I can remove, grommet, and then reinstall with the wiring that goes through, because we got to get wiring for the lights, signals, horn, power to run that controller that comes up front here, which I have to make a bracket for. I think I'm just going to bracket it off of these guys here and just set it right in the side here. And then I can run the wiring down along the frame rail. There's even a hole. Look at that. It's like it was meant to be. So that's what I'm going to continue with, is just stuff. But I think my goal is to get the engine back in here, so we'll consider that. I'll bring you back in a while, see if I've gotten anything actually accomplished. Oh, a little bit of picking away. Welds grinded off. That one looks kind of rough. I was tempted to do body work. Not my problem. Then I'm spending hours making this look really nice. Well, then if I do that, then I've got to do that, and then, you know, I got to do that. And then, you know, it's gonna end up, you know, redoing this flange so everything is nice, you know. What do you need that hole for? There's just things that would just have to keep getting done, as much as the guy would like to. If I was doing this, it wouldn't look like that. It would be right through. But again, this car isn't going to be that. It's a driver, so it should be a lot of fun, actually. What else? A few things to touch up. I did run a little bead inside on the back side where I'd welded the front in there just to clean it up. I'm tempted to cut one coil out of the spring, but that can be done pretty much anytime. I really want to get the engine set in there, set it outside, fenders on, windows up, kind of clean it a little bit just so it looks, and get a look at the front end once it's got some more stuff loaded into it. Got to figure out the power steering yet, but should be close. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go have a coffee break and continue on with this. That paint's got to dry a little bit before I spray some black on it and, you know, stuff. So touch it up a little bit and keep moving. Got to paint brackets. That can go next time the rad comes out. So then I got to figure out where the coolant reservoir goes. I'm certain it's going to go over here. I might have a little bit of room now that I got rid of that electrical box. So what else has to go in there? Air cleaner, windshield washer. Got to figure that stuff out too. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep going. Forgot my usual weather update. Would you believe me if I told you I looked outside yesterday morning and there was like 1 inch to 2 inches of snow on my truck? Like, it snowed overnight, Sunday night, and then proceeded to melt yesterday. So yeah, this is a lot better than it was. So yeah, I just thought I'd bring you up on that. I've got some stuff to go in the office, some old screwdrivers and stuff, and working on a little coffee table / display cabinet the neighbor was kind enough to bring over. So plow truck tires are low. Guess I'll have to bring the compressor over. In here. So I'm just gonna put this stuff down. People give me old tools once in a while. I'm never gonna use this, so I might as well kind of have a tool corner. The Mopar sign, well, it's gonna go somewhere on the wall. I don't know. So we'll figure that out. Yeah. Sit, good dog. Yeah, so this is some of the junk I've got. The 65 Barracuda had the Fratzog in it, so I wanted one with the fish. I bought it. That did not go when I sold the car. That is Babbitt, Dodge, Fargo, Plymouth, Firebird, Studebaker. Also Studebaker, and I've had that for, well, I'm 60 now, and I was a preteen when I found that. So let's figure that out. Fargo, just odds and ends. That's some sort of a listening device. I should have that in my toolbox, but it's nice and I kind of want to keep it that way, so I never really have a use for it. Bubba did not wash his cup again. Okay, so that's it for now. I'm gonna have a coffee and then get back after that car. Oh man, some days I just confuse myself. Okay, engine's in. Obviously it's not jacked up high enough because it's hanging way low on the back. The valves are closed properly on the airbag, so I just didn't lift it high enough yet. So, like I say, engine's back in. I gotta trim the tunnel, probably back to about here. Once I get the drive shaft hung on it, I'll figure that out. I really don't want to, because maybe I'll just poke it into place and kind of zip tie it. The reason being is I want to leave that yoke in the transmission to avoid spillage. So, yeah, I'm gonna trim the tunnel yet. Make sure I got room for suspension travel. So the engine's in. I got room here. Which is my main goal. The manifolds fit nice. There's a fair amount of clearance to anything underneath. It'll look better from underneath probably. So next is I'm going to probably put the steering back together, hang it, let it sit. I'm going to pull that hinge and I'm going to put the fenders back on and let the engine sit in there with the rod out. Maybe I will put the hinge back on. Yeah, I will. And I'll mount the hood. And then I'll get it latched and I'll see physically how much room I have through the grill area. That's a good plan. Yeah, so that's that. Where else am I? Fire's out, so it's time to go. I gotta put engine oil in. I can't forget, so I'm gonna go grab that jug. I'm just gonna put the oil in now, just so I know there's some in it. Because out of all, I don't trust myself. I'll probably forget. Nice thing is the brake booster, I can install it with the engine in master. So I'm gonna get working on fitting brake lines, servicing the rear diff, brakes, and axle seals. Get that all done. Yeah, so there's a bit of work there. That'll be a fun one. I don't mind tearing differentials apart. All right, that's it for now. And as always, I'd like to thank you both for watching. By the way, that's engine in number 10. So rinse and repeat. 2 more times? Is that all I'm allowed? Then I got to work around it from there on out. All right, so as always, I'd like to thank you both for watching, and I'll see you on the flip side.